This film is about four Ugandan experiences that illustrate how culture, values, traditional governance systems, and the current practices have been found useful in managing resources, resolving conflicts, curbing insecurity, and fighting corruption. Uganda has 65 ethnic groups, each with a unique tradition, language, set of values and systems, including governance mechanisms. In the pre-colonial period, these groups were managed by institutions headed by kings, chiefs, clan leaders and councils of elders, many still in existence today. In 1966, cultural institutions were abolished and pushed to the periphery of national governance as state systems and actors took over their political and economic functions. In the last 2 decades, however, new challenges have encouraged us to reconsider the value of cultural institutions and their influence on community perceptions, values, and attitudes in respect to governance. In this film, we invite you to reflect on the contribution that our traditional governance systems can make to enhance our governance as a nation. In various parts of the country, different resources are cherished for their economic, cultural, and social value. In northern Uganda, for instance, land is a most valued resource. In Pokot and Karamoja, cattle are a symbol of wealth and social status. In Panyimur, a port along the shores of Lake Albert, fish is a valued resource and a source of unity as well as conflict. In pre-colonial times, these resources were managed by institutions that defined access and ownership rights, resolved conflicts, handled security, and ensured a measure of public accountability. These governance mechanisms, though not officially recognized, still present today important and effective avenues through which governance may be understood from the perspective of local communities. In northern Uganda, customary land tenure prevails. Land is not owned by individuals but by families and clans.
1995, customary land was recognized as a tenure, one of the 4 tenure systems, fully recognized and operationalized by our Land Act.
In Lango, Acholi and Teso, the Land and Equity Movement of Uganda, in consultation with cultural leaders, has documented the principles, practices, rights and responsibilities for customary land tenure management.
There has been a lot of distortion because customary rights or customary law regarding land was not recorded, it was oral.
These documents for the first time put to paper and update the body of unwritten laws that has informed customary tenure in each region. The booklets are currently used by communities, their leaders, and legal officers to resolve land disputes, to define boundaries, to regulate land sales.
We have promoted, campaigned on making it more difficult for a land grabber to encroach onto your land by planting physical trees and drawing maps.
Legal officers attest to using the principles, practices, rights and responsibilities as a point of reference in dispute resolution.
Actually, with this book coming into force, I see a big change coming up, especially when the community is made aware. I see that there will be a great change.
It is going to be useful for all, for the women, if you like, who will now say, where is it written that I don't have rights to land? It's also going to be useful for government when they're writing policies or writing laws. They now have something written down. It's useful for the traditional institutions when they're passing judgment.
In Lango, the books are actually also being used in the courts of law. The magistrates are making reference into this book to pass judgments on land under customary tenure.
When the survival of a community revolves around a single resource, its careful management is essential. In Pokot, a traditional court, the Kokwo meets daily and plays an important role in managing issues and resolving conflict related to cattle.
Then solving issues now like dispute between maybe if somebody has a cow, has stolen your cow, that's the council of elders also will come. They will sit down and then they will resolve the problem just there and there.
Wanafanya kukwa, alafu sasa wanafata wenye waizi wale wametoa hizo ng'ombe ndio wamefanya hizo ng'ombe zao sifanye nini? Siende. Yaani raia wanaonanga waizi hawa kama government nafata wanatoroka. Wanaona afadhali hao wenyewe waende individual wenyewe waende waongeleshe wazazi ya hiyo watoto. Kwa vile lazima wanawajua wanaenda ongelesha hiyo watoto. Alafu sasa wazazi alafu wazazi hiyo ndio wanaona kenye watafanya. Na ikisidi wenyewe wanafanya kama government. Wanaenda kwa boma wanashika hizo mang'ombe ya huyo mtoto ya mzee fulani ila ameiba.
Local government officials also recognize the value of traditional courts and refer some civil cases to the Kokwo for resolution.
Kwa kukua ya nyumbani, hiyo pia inakuanga rahisi kwa vile hawa pia ni wazee, ile wakifanya yao inakubalika, inasikika. Na kama unaona wenyewe, hapa wenyewe huwa ikisinda hao unaona wenyewe wanapitisha mti hapa kwa polisi.
It's more of traditional court, but again the situation where we come in as their representatives on the side of the government to witness, just to witness. You find there are some other conflicts which demands more people to come to get involved, like those of RDCs, like those of MPs. So it depends to which level of conflicts is it.
In Panyimur in West Nile, the community widely respects the culture leaders who use their influence to keep peace and order.
We found that there was a lot of insecurity, more especially on Lake Albert. And when you see this Lake Albert, for us in Panyimur sub-county, we take it as it has some attachment with the traditional leaders here. We started realizing that there was a lot of stealing of fishing gears. Those people go with the pangas, bows and arrows to go and steal.
A council of elders headed by the paramount chief is involved in curbing insecurity associated with fishing activities using traditional rituals.
Kalma eni utie ikabedo midwar. Kalma eni etimo tich matek ni konyo jorodwar kitemo mako genwang kod obero. Ma ithe kalma eni ministry achiel mukende mapire tek utie ministry milam.
When the traditional leaders, they started performing their rituals, they casted, they say those who will go with the bows and arrows in the lake, they will not come back, they will die, because this is the lake of their ancestors who have given them all of us to survive on it.
Since he's a traditional cultural leader in the community and the people have big trust in him, whenever he comes into a problem, whether if it is serious or not, people tend to listen to him more easily. Then they come back to him, the words he gives to these people, they understand it, because many believe that the traditional institution is also value to them.
The local government officials work with these institutions, which they see as a source of cohesion, to influence attitudes against criminal tendencies.
We invited the district security committees to come amidst us and just to come and witness, because some of them used to think that the performance, the way the traditional chiefs perform their rituals are negative. We have almost about 10 government agents who are managing this lake, but managing it has defeated them. With the help of the traditional chief, we have managed to defeat the bad act over the lake.
since we are always in touch with the traditional chief, he is closer to us and we are close to him. When we involve him and when he involves us, we don't see them coming back to us, which means the problem is solved in a good manner.
Governance is not only about resources, structures, and systems. It's also about people and their relationship with power. It's also about leadership and accountability. In Toro, a traditional learning space, the Isazi has been recreated to publicly hold leaders accountable for the use of resources.
Traditionally, the people here, when they talk of Isazi, it's a place in front of the house, and maybe they have a fire around that place.
Isazi was intended to train the young ones who sat at the feet of elders. That's really the purpose of Isazi.
A council of elders works to promote integrity and social responsibility in the region.
Now Isazi is a forum that we as leaders of this Toro region, in one of the meetings, agreed that we should have a forum of elders where we can work together for the betterment of the society. We feel in the system as political leaders, the way we arrange it today, their ideas, their contribution to development may not be tapped. But if we interface on a forum that is free of government regulations and other laws, we could build the society better.
Leaders and holders of public offices are put to task on live radio talk shows and in conferences to account for the use of public resources.
Ulibalaza Beta FM saa hivi kwika saa hii akakambo kumkuru mukaro.
Hello
Beta FM wateranka
Beta
kitwamba negambake
no ndope ingam abe beta batetegerize kitu ekyobwe.
Okay. It's the same thing that I'm seeing now with the radio program that Isazi is running, where I have seen many young people calling into the station wanting to talk to the elders.
The Isazi, they come with a program, come in with a program, here Birene Gamba, kick Echiremeseze, Ebyobomezi. Here in Toro, we
don't know what is happening. But what we know is the hospital doesn't have ABCD. What we know, the roads are not there. What we know, the students in school are sitting on 4 pupils on one bench or something. What we know, there are no good facilities in our schools and whatever. They are demanding for those things, and they want to know.
To me, Isazi is more or less a voice for the people, a voice for those who could not come up and say, because for them they have no strings attached. They can raise anything that they feel is in public good interest. We had an elders forum to specifically look at the health and education sectors in the local government. While in the process, we encountered a number of challenges. In this case, we are looking specifically at Kavende Health Center too, where a maternity ward was constructed but not completed.
Nkakuwa twenda nenda kuzara naruga hano ndi kuza Kijura factory na hika muhanda nazara kandi ubwo nkaba ndataha rubaje rw'igwarire rya Kabende hati kuruga hano akuhika Kijura kilometero 10.
The contractor was paid 75 million, that is something like over 90%. Isazi has been following this in partnership with the authorities to see what exactly went wrong.
These systems, though recognized as relevant and effective, are however not without challenges. Cultural institutions tend to be most effective in largely homogeneous communities and may not sufficiently accommodate the diversity that comes with mobility, intermarriage, and exposure. In addition, their strength in using traditional methods and knowledge may not always equip them to deal with contemporary development challenges.
gituro tego pakar.
Sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, so and so is 80 years old. What can he say? He's expired. He doesn't have any ideas to give."
In most cases, women are excluded from traditional decision-making positions and processes. This may encourage a paternalistic attitude towards women's issues, emphasizing protection rather than empowerment and undermining their rights.
There has been a distortion to the extent that people say that customary tenure maybe does not allow women to own land. I can come up if I want to, I can say this is my customary law, this is my culture.
If you stood up and told these Pokot men that now we don't want you to marry 3 women or 2 women, definitely that one will be an issue of Kokwa. They will say now this church has come again differently from the way we knew. Because you will find an old man will come and approach you, Emily, when you are 15 years and he says, I've paid 40 cows, then you are pushed.
Cultural institutions do not work in isolation, but there is a lack of synergy between the traditional and state governance systems. This may be attributed to differing worldviews and values, which may undermine authority on both sides.
They are instituting a punishment which is grievous. Then we probe a question to them. You have proposed that this and this has taken place. But again, on the other side, mind you, we are part and parcel of some other laws of this country. And we wouldn't like you to enter into problems tomorrow because we are part of it, although we have our own. But if somebody comes in the other corner with them, with those other laws, we might be in problems. Then they begin to say, I think that is also true.
Certain things are seen as foreign. The DC comes, or district commissioner comes, he talks. When he goes back, another meeting again is started by the Pokot to review and to ignore what they have just brought. An elder like Aramtori, who was here, is more respected than the president.
This has happened. The mainstream politicians, some of them, not all of them, they have sometimes said to the population, don't follow those people.
You have politicians, mainstream politicians on one side, and you have us on the other hand. We are really apolitical. And this is the period of political activity, beginning to join the hustings, elections and so on, campaigns and so on. So they feel that this Isazi is beginning to capture part of their followers. That's why they feel a little threatened.
Popular dissatisfaction with statutory mechanisms, which are seen as commercialized, lengthy, partial and foreign, compels communities to seek alternative avenues for redress.
The magistrate is not there in this community, and more particularly in Amudat. But still, we could use the same magistrate of Nagapriprit. Even the one of Nagapriprit came of recent. It used not to be there. It used to be Moroto.
The elders were calling, inviting, asking us to look for soldiers who stole, who ate their honey. They're asking us for soldiers who took 25 women during this disarmament process. They want to punish them traditionally. The current state organs, because they don't make the population to own, because the population still take them as foreign, they don't discover the truth. Those who are being punished, detained for long, and really innocent people, because there is no ownership.
While cultural institutions provide this alternative because they are often perceived as non-corrupt, impartial and non-partisan, they are generally accountable to none but themselves.
Last year, some 4 cases were conducted in my place where wizards, those who are taken as wizards, were hung last year. And in some cases, meetings were not handled well. some elders did not participate. So it means some people can be condemned in a rush.
Cultural resource persons often work on a voluntary basis. The sustainability of their efforts, therefore, depend on the availability of respectable, responsible, culturally knowledgeable individuals.
The elders are willing to offer their time. They're very generous. I meet with these men. Some of them who can, they pay for their own transport. They come and they spend time there without salary, without any stipend, without any allowance, which is something among the young people today is very difficult.
Limited resources may, however, expose cultural leaders to intimidation by the rich and the powerful.
We have no office. We currently depend on occasional sporadic donations that are given by people who value the Isazi.
There is a lot that it wants to do. It doesn't have these resources. It has to depend on the public to contribute, and for which the public has tried to contribute. Some of all these dialogues, the public has contributed, by the way.
What can we conclude from these experiences? It is clear that traditional structures, mechanisms, and values are resilient and provide an alternative avenue for local communities to organize themselves and manage their resources.
Nituhura abagenzi baita bakabarore bo abagurusi batandikire ekitebe ekiabo kirkwetwa Isazi bagenzi baita abarwebisengo nabo bayina ekitebe ekirkwetwa komi.
The kind of comments you hear from the community are, please, we need more. We need more, we need more, keep on, keep on. At the moment they look at it as maybe a single remaining uniting factor in the area where people of all religions, people of all tribes, people of all political affiliations can go and they would be welcome.
Governance is not culture neutral. It must resonate with the values, needs, and aspirations of the governed. Thus, traditional governance mechanisms, such as those presented in this film, offer an opportunity to domesticate state systems which are largely perceived as foreign. By so doing, communities will better understand state governance and more effectively play their role as citizens.
Isazi has followers. Why? Because we are touching certain chords in the hearts of people.
Wadaru pui. Machinga ketonya dun tegene ni wasidi jog de. Wabike sidi jogene. Kongaruman bisido ya. Rewa ketimo pin mwacha mita do ya lurcha. Warombi pajaluri barucha. Washa kotime wadoki. Kakeno na wawi.
How we used to be caned, and now of course caning is out. Respect for the elders is gone, we think it's wrong, and so on and so forth. The good things we say we should retain, and the not so good, slowly discard.
Luckily, customary tenure is also very equitable, if you like. It provides for all, for today and for the future.
Equally with the thief, they steal the person who loses so his property. Again, the court ensure that that person is restored to his position. But here, in our side of the laws, a thief is in prison. And again, our laws and governance don't consider what the other party lost. So this is what I think. If the government doesn't consider those aspects, the purport may take long to accept that our laws and punishments and governance is good.
synergy between traditional and state-inspired perceptions of justice is imperative for conflict to be resolved conclusively.
Our traditional chief, he has come up very many times to come up openly to give his view about the issue of corruption in the sub-county. I see also, because of his influence, the sub-county is doing fairly okay, because he's always in touch with the local government authorities. They handle up with that problem together. I'm seeing some good things.
If the clan has a face, then you could hold them accountable more. You could also link them to the state system, especially for dispute resolution. If they passed a bad judgment, then the magistrates could directly, deal with them as a person, not as the clan. Lemu has been saying all along is harmonize the two systems. We cannot continue parallel systems anymore with the state and the customary, and some of them contradicting, and either contradicting or just different.
A common understanding of different governance mechanisms also requires a change of attitude and the recognition of the strengths that both systems present. It may demand acquiring new knowledge on rights and democracy on the part of cultural leaders and accepting and working with traditional knowledge on the part of local government.
How to make these laws to be owned